rock your body. Everybody, rock your body now. Durzi's back. All right. Woo! That's right. Woo! Welcome, everybody, to SLC Puck. I'm your host, Austin Facer, and I am so excited because Sean Durzi's back. He's back. Backstreet's back. Sean Durzi's back. He's been away for 52 games. He's going to make a triumphant return back from injury this Saturday. But before that, we got a banger of a hockey game on Thursday. That's tomorrow. That's less than 24 hours away. Recording this episode today is February 19th, 2025. It's about 7:35 p.m. So yes, about 23 hours, 22 and a half. I don't know the math. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The Four Nations Face-Off Championship game between the United States and Canada will be happening on ESPN, Disney Plus, all that good stuff. It's a very magical night for hockey in North America and perhaps even across the entire globe. It makes perfect sense to me. It would be on Disney Plus. I'm excited for that, and I'll tell you what you guys should be really excited about too. All the great stuff I have for you, slcpuck.shop. Tons of great merch here. I just saw a picture of some young gentleman wearing a Utah Hockey Club jersey and wearing one of my hats as well. That was really fun to see. I think he was wearing one of our older trucker hats, but this hat is in particular is a cool one. I'm wearing it right now. The upside down hat. It's in style, I promise. The trucker hat's right there as well. Lots of good stuff. It's a great way to support the show. If you like the show, if you love the show, go to slcpuck.shop, buy some merch. You can leave a donation at checkout as well. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to this show as well if you're watching on YouTube or Apple or Spotify or wherever you find us. And don't forget, I'm on social media too, at SLC Puck across the board. That's where you can find lots of great content, my witty insights on Twitter, my funny sketches on TikTok, on Instagram, all that good stuff. So lots of fun there. Oh, and one more house cleaning item. I want to, again, give a big thanks to our good friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for their partnership with us, SLC Puck. Grab some ice, the giveaway. Easiest giveaway you'll ever participate in. I'm going to have this QR code up during the duration of today's episode. So just scan it, hit send on the message. You're in the raffle to win a $250 gift card. If you haven't won yet, fear not. We're going to keep giving away gift cards as we go. In fact, we just gave one away today to our good friend Brock. Congratulations, Brock, who just won a gift card. And I'll play a commercial with more information on the giveaway and the partnership with Payne Anthony Creative Jeweler and Jonathan's Jewelry as well. But hey, welcome into the show, episode 84 of SLC Puck. And it's an exciting one. Lots of things to talk about. So much excitement. And not the least of which being that our good friend of the pod, Nick Schmaltz, got engaged to his lovely fiance, Abby. Let's look at the pictures here. The Utah Hockey Club just posted these on Twitter or X, whatever the heck you want to call it. Congrats to Nick and Abby on their engagement. Man, look at that. What a rock, huh? Good for her. She grabbed some ice. I wonder if she went to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers for that. I would like to think so. But anyway, yeah, big congrats to that, and lots of great content here, getting me very excited about the Utah Hockey Club coming back in action, not the least of which, what is very exciting is the return of Sean Durzi. If you remember Sean Durzi, you're probably remembering the first 4 games of the season in which he played and was effective player. I think he also holds the distinction of having the first ever fighting major penalty in Utah Hockey Club history, which he got in the inaugural game against the Chicago Blackhawks on October 8th. We all remember that. I was in attendance. I got this shirt there, and I was wearing the shirt watching Sean Durzi get in that fight, and I think he had an assist in that game as well. Hey, what's up, guys? Quick interruption here to pay some bills. I want to remind you about our fantastic giveaway we're doing in partnership with Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelries. Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers is at Charlie Square. Jonathan's Jewelry, Cottonwood Heights. 2 incredible locations. 1 great giveaway for you guys as listeners and supporters of SLC Puck. I've been doing this giveaway. I've been giving away $250 gift cards like I'm frickin' Oprah or something. You get a gift card. You get a gift card. You get a gift card. I've given away like 6 gift cards already. We've got 2 new winners this week. They've been notified. They're thrilled out of their minds. They've got the gift cards. Super, super, super happy we could do that, especially now. We're a couple days after Valentine's Day, and my assumption is that a couple of you are in trouble for something. So this is a great way to get out of the penalty box, so to speak. So enter the giveaway, $250 again off any purchase at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers or Jonathan's Jewelry. Oh, but wait, there's more. If you go into either one of those locations and just mention SLC Puck, you don't need to be a winner for this. They'll give you $100 off of your purchase. Just boom, no questions asked. Bada bing, bada boom. Just like that. So enter the raffle. If you've entered already and you haven't won, guess what? You're still in it. So good news there. But keep entering. Grab some phones. Grab your mom's phone. Grab your wife's phone. Grab your kid's phone. Enter this raffle right now. QR code's right here. I've even drafted the text for you. All you got to do is scan, hit send. You're in, and $250 to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers or Jonathan's Jewelry could be headed your way. So big thanks to both of those locations. Same ownership for doing this incredible promotion with SLC Puck. And let's get back to the episode right now. And that, I think, is what is exciting about getting Durzi back is that toughness, that the passing that he brings to the table. He's a really, really effective player, and I think I've said this before. He adds a certain zip to the game that I think the Utah Hockey Club has really missed at times. In particular, I think it's really important to have Durzi back for that second power play unit. Now, we all know the first power play unit is potent at times, right? We got Dylan Gunther, what's his name? Clinton Keller, the captain, and then Mikhail Sergachev running point, right? Really effective first power play unit. Without Durzi, though, I think it's been a little bit trickier. I think Michael Kesselring, though, has stepped up in big ways on the second power play unit. But the power play, that point position, is really where Durzi makes his bacon. That's his bread and butter. He's been really, really good at that spot throughout his entire career. In fact, just going back to the 2022-2023 season when he was with the Kings, the team which he'll be playing against for the first time in quite a while on Saturday, Durzi was a huge part of the power play there. In fact, his role helped LA become the fourth best power play team in the league that season. They were scoring goals at a 25.3% success rate. In that season, Durzi scored a huge portion of his assists. He had, it looks like he had 9 goals, 38 points in 72 games that season. So let's do some quick math here. That would mean he had 29 assists. And here's what's interesting that season, 15 of those. So more than half of his assists that season came on the power play. So he's a key facilitator, playmaker in the man advantage. And again, I think it's going to be really important for Utah moving forward to score some big power play goals. Obviously, when the team is playing well, that's a huge hallmark of their success. And having a very potent group from the point man down to the rest of the group for the full 2 minutes is going to be very, very, very important for Utah. So it's very exciting to get Sean Durzi back. And I was thinking about the best way to introduce his return to you guys here on SLC Puck. And you know me, I like to do things in a goofy, silly, fun way. And I was just happened to be listening to the Backstreet Boys for some reason. I was like, you know what, Sean Durzi is kind of the guy who most closely resembles someone who would be in a boy band anyway. So why not celebrate? Hey, everybody, Durzi's back, and that's going to be great. So again, his return to the lineup is going to be on Saturday. And this is great because this really might be the healthiest that the Utah Hockey Club has been all season. I mean, they've had so many injuries throughout the year. I've shown you guys the statistics. They've been one of the most snake-bitten teams in the National Hockey League in terms of injuries. And let's just rattle off some off the top of our head, right? So John Marino missed a huge chunk of action. He was not in that first game against Chicago. I think he didn't make his debut until probably late December, January, more or less. I don't have that exactly. Durzi missed 52 games to injury. Logan Cooley's been out for a little bit now. Dylan Guenther missed about 12 games, and we've even seen Clayton Keller miss a little bit of action as well. So again, injuries have really been affecting this team in a big way. And I think for them to still be where they are in the playoff race and now getting guys healthy again, really to me ramps up the excitement. It gets me really looking forward to the second half of the season. And, let's just quickly check on the standings. We do this every episode. We're going to do it until they're out of the race, right? But as we can see here in the playoff standings, Utah is still on the outside looking in. They're 2 spots out of the last wild card position with 57 points. They trailed the Flames, who have 60. They're the first team out. And then the first team in is Vancouver with 63. So again, these games are going to add up in a big way really quick. And again, it's really encouraging that the team is finally going to be at as much full strength as they possibly can be. The one guy who is still on the injury report right now is Karel Vejmelka, and he's listed as day-to-day status. Now, they called up Jackson Stauber for this, and it's kind of interesting this happened after our most recent episode. Jeff, our good friend Jeff, listener, called into the SLC Puck line, which, by the way, you guys are all more than welcome to do. The number is 919-666-PUCK, Puck. You can call in, leave a hot take, leave a question. I'll address it here on the show if I like it. I don't address all of them, but I will address it if it's something I like and is worth talking about. But we talked about, the goaltender situation, all that, and I posed that Vejmelka could be a guy that the Utah Hockey Club might trade around the trade deadline time, which is coming up sooner rather than later. It's March 7th. So you might look at this. You might see the fact that Jackson Stauber was called up from Tucson as sort of like a harbinger of possible trades, right? Something that's foreshadowing a possible move. You might be like me, having a tinfoil hat at arm's length, ready to throw it on any time. I have the hat on right now, but I'm going to take it off because my gut tells me there's not a conspiracy here. A lot of what I do just goes off of gut. I really do think in this case, Stauber did not get called up because they're about to trade Vejmelka. I do think in this instance that Vejmelka perhaps is just feeling ill. I mean, we've seen the Four Nations face-off guys are falling off the map left and right. Cale Makar missed the game against the United States due to an illness. We're in February, for crying out loud. People get sick, right? So I do think that's the case. And furthermore, I think recently Connor Ingram has been on the injury report as well. I think he's still a little day-to-day, possibly dealing with some concussion-like issues. I don't know this. Again, just totally speculating. But he took an Alexander Ovechkin slap shot off the dome in the Utah Hockey Club's last game on February 9th, last game before the break. So he still might be dealing with some issues related to that. Maybe. Again, I don't know. But I think that's why Stauber has been called up, not necessarily due to a trade. But I reserve the right to be wrong, and we'll see how that goes. We'll monitor that as it is. But one guy who I am not unhappy about, I'm trying to think of the most unclunky way of saying this, but one guy who I'm happy to see happy and healthy, and we'll go back to this post by the Utah Hockey Club showing all the fellas here back on the ice. They're here at the Oval getting ready to get back into the swing of things for the playoff push here. There's Schmaltzy, very excited, very happy. I think that might be him freshly engaged. Great job. Way to go, Nick. Oh, there's our guy, Clayton Keller. Whoa, interesting to see him there. That's kind of interesting. I'll tell you why it's interesting in just a second. More pictures, though. There's Josh Doan. He's also back from Tucson. He was just getting some reps in down there. That's why he was called down to Tucson over the break. Standing next to his buddy, Dylan Guenther. And here's Guenther again with Schmaltzy. Good stuff there. Appreciate that content from the Utah Hockey Club. But I say it's interesting to see Clayton Keller here in this group for one reason, and it's because I thought, and I think some other folks may have thought this as well, and who knows, this could still happen. As of right now, 7:44 p.m. It's not the case yet, but there were some people who thought there was a legitimate possibility that Clayton Keller might be a last minute or replacement addition to Team USA for the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game against Canada tomorrow, Thursday in Boston. If you've been watching the tournament, which by the way, you should, it's been a blast. It's been a crazy amount of fun. It's been very, very good for the sport of hockey. Thanks to this tournament, hockey is like on the map right now. in a big way. They've taken center stage in the sports world. That game on Saturday between the United States and Canada, in which there were 3 fights in 9 seconds, 2 by the Kachuk brothers. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. People absolutely loved it, as they should, right? So right now, hockey is all the buzz, which is a pretty amazing achievement for the sport to do this in February, same month as the Super Bowl, same week as the NBA All-Star break, which was a total dud, by the way. But again, there's been a little bit of an injury concern, right? I think the United States last round robin game, which was basically a meaningless game against Sweden, there was some injury concerns, right? So we saw Matthew Tkachuk leave the ice for the last 13 minutes or so. I believe Brady was a little bit injured as well. Austin Matthews banged up as well. So they were talking after the game, and Sweden beat the United States. Again, meaningless game. The United States was going to go to the championship game against Canada, regardless of the outcome of that one. But they talked about how the United States might need to call in some reinforcements, and Clayton Keller, who we discussed as being a snub on this team, was someone who was brought up by the crew on TNT as someone who could fill in for the United States roster. So again, we're talking now. It's been 2 minutes since I last gave the time. It's now 7:49 p.m. It doesn't seem like that's the case. The United States has made a couple calls to some potential injury replacements. Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres is supposedly in Boston, ready to go if needed. A couple other guys are there as well. But as far as I can tell, I'm looking at the Twitter feed right now, trying to refresh it. It looks like Quinn Hughes has not been medically cleared. Brady Tkachuk is expected to play in the Four Nations face-off championship game tomorrow. So no Clayton Keller in this one. Sorry to disappoint everybody. I know I talked about this on Twitter, how it seemed like, there was some talk of that happening. That is what the crew on TNT said, but we're going to have to live probably more than likely without seeing Clayton Keller in a United States of America uniform this time around. It's still a little bit of a bummer, but again, I'm not super upset about this when I look at the fact that, yes, injuries have occurred in this tournament. Shea Theodore, defenseman for the Vegas Golden Knights, did get injured in the game for Canada, so he'll more than likely miss some time back in the NHL when the NHL season resumes. Can you imagine how frustrating it would have been to see Clayton Keller get injured at any point in this tournament, right? It would have been really fun to see him in it, and I'm sure he would have done a tremendous job. And he is fourth among American scorers in the NHL. Fourth among, I'm trying to think of a less clunky way to say it. He's among American scorers in the NHL. He's fourth in points right now. That's, again, still clunky, but you know what I mean. And he has been called a snub. I think that's something we talked about a little bit on the last episode. That's something a lot of fans here in Utah said. But if he had gone to this tournament and gotten injured, it would have been such a bummer, especially as we talked about just a minute ago, how healthy the Utah Hockey Club is getting at a very crucial time. And so again, as disappointed as I think we all are a little bit, I am not upset about it that much. But regardless of Keller being in this game or not, I'm still extremely, extremely, extremely excited about tomorrow's game between the United States and Canada, the championship for the Four Nations face-off, a tournament fabricated out of thin air. It was kind of the NHL's reintroduction back into international best-on-best hockey. It's been a huge, huge, huge success, and we're going to see more international best-on-best hockey in years to come. I believe they're going to do, not believe, but I know they're going to do the Olympics next year with NHL players on the ice. They're in Italy. 2 years after that, they're going to do the World Cup of Hockey again in the middle of the season. And then another 2 years after that, 2030 Olympics, the NHL will be on the ice as well. I don't think it's unreasonable to maybe project that when the Olympics are here, that we might see NHL best-on-best hockey as well at the 2034 Olympics. And by then, SLC Puck will be working on our 10,000th episode by then, I think. I haven't checked the math, but I think that's how it's going to work out. But this game between the United States and Canada is huge. And there's been so much talked about in the media. It's been the talk of the town. PK Subban has been on ESPN talking about, what the NBA needs to do to copy the NHL, which is a conversation that I don't think has maybe ever happened ever in the history of sports. But it really is the case. This has been completely electric. And I think you could probably make the argument And I think this might sound crazy, but I think there actually is something to it. I think you could make the argument that this might be the most anticipated hockey game in the history of the sport. Now, again, this is something you can call in and leave a hot take on the SLC Puck hotline. You might think I'm nutso for this, right? You might think I'm nutso for a lot of reasons, right? I wear frickin' costumes and tinfoil hats on my show all the freaking time. But I think there might be something to this, all right? Because consider this. I mean, there are a couple games in my mind that could fit the bill for this, and they're mostly international best on best games, right? I think you could maybe consider the 2010 gold medal game between the United States and Canada, which resulted in a gold medal winning goal by Sidney Crosby in the overtime period. You could say that was a huge game for hockey. I think the 2002 or 2002 Olympic Games in where? Salt Lake City. That could also be one, and that was huge. So many stories there. The Lucky Looney, Wayne Gretzky's the general manager of the team, best on best hockey. Canada going for their first gold medal in 50 years and winning in dramatic fashion. You could argue that was a very important game in the history of hockey. But I really think what adds to this is the social media element. Social media was not a thing in 2002. I don't know if you knew that. Not really as much in 2010 either. I think the fact that this has gathered so much attention on social media and therefore has attracted a new audience, a potential new audience of new hockey fans, maybe casual fans, maybe people who don't really know anything about the game of hockey, but are now super invested and super interested. Like, what the heck? They had 3 fights in 9 seconds, and then they kept playing a game after that. What the heck is this sport? Tons of great stuff. There was an awesome promotional video that the NHL, the Four Nations Face-Off team, put together for this. I encourage you to check it out on social media. Find it. It'll get you revved up. You'll want to watch this video and then do as our good friend Chris Grenier does, run through a wall. You'll want to take some smelling salts. You won't need doors after watching this video. I'll tell you that. But it's going to be just a truly incredible atmosphere. I mean, they even rumored that like Donald Trump was supposed to be at this game. I think it's been reported that he's not going to go. And get this, this is not a political show here at SLC Puck, but I don't think it's crazy to say that would have been a very interesting storytelling component, and there would have been even more eyeballs on this game. I think there's going to be plenty as well. This might be one of the most viewed hockey games of all time. I think there's a pretty good chance it will be. But as for what people are going to see, I don't really know. I don't expect to see 3 fights within the first 10 seconds like we did on Saturday. I think there's more of a chance maybe you'll see 1, maybe none. I think Sam Bennett of Team Canada, he also plays for the Florida Panthers, said something kind of interesting in the media. He's like, hey, the statement's been made already. We made the statement on Saturday. You know what? We did the fight. You know, the guys were worked up. You know, the Canadians were booing the American anthem. Now it's about winning, right? Well, again, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. The game is in Boston. I do expect to see or hear, the fans there booing the Canadian national anthem. I don't think that's crazy or controversial to expect. And if I have any Boston listeners out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know it's going to happen. So I'm not going to apologize for making that statement. We'll just have to tune in and watch and see how that goes. But I think what we can expect in any case is to see like a really, really electric hockey game. A lot of hits, a lot of puck battles, a lot of physicality. Again, maybe a fight or two, but really what you'll see is the best on best, some of the best hockey you'll ever see, the best American team that's ever been put together against some of the all-time greats from Canada, Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, hopefully a healthy Cale Makar. I really enjoy watching him play. So it's going to be a ton of fun. And gosh, this isn't even, that's just one part of the week. Like I said, this is going to be a crazy, crazy fun week. Because on the other side of that, on Saturday, we're back to Utah Hockey Club games. And as I said, their first game back is going to be on the 22nd in La La Land against the Kings. That's Sean Durzi's return. So that'll be one to watch. And it's an important game, too, because the Kings are also, in a playoff hunt right now. Right now, they're in third place, and I'll just flip on my screen here so you guys see this. They're in third place in the Pacific Division, which puts them at the playoffs with 65 points. But they're just ahead of the Canucks right now, who are in that last wild card spot with 63 points. So picking up 2 points against Utah is going to be huge. But Utah is going to want to keep an eye on both of those teams, the Kings and the Canucks. And they'll get a chance to see both of them because those are their two next opponents, right? So they play the Kings on Saturday, and then the Canucks on Sunday in Salt Lake City. Guess who's going to be on that broadcast for the Utah Hockey Club? My good buddy Tyson Nash. And you know why he's going to be in town? Because the next game on Tuesday against the Chicago Blackhawks is our Nashcast. We'll be doing a Nashcast for you guys on SEG Plus, Utah Hockey Club Plus. A lot of great guests we have lined up. It'll be our 4th Nashcast of the season. But hey, in case you missed that one, great news. You won't have to wait long to check out the 5th Nashcast of the season, which will be on Thursday in the game against Minnesota. So again, tune in to SEG Plus to check that out. Lots of great stuff, lots of fun stories from Tyson and his buddies, and me. I just get to sit on a seat and have the best seat in the house, get in a laugh, enjoy some brewskis from our good friends at Anheuser-Busch. So again, that's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be a busy week. You're going to get all the Austin Facer you can possibly handle and more, I guess you could say. So there'll be a lot of very fun. I'm going to be very tired by this time next week, but it's for love of the game. It's what I do. I'll probably have to consume my liquid weight in Celsius to get through it because I'm going to need it, man. I'm going to be pretty tired boy, but it should be a lot of fun. And I am motivated and excited and inspired by all the excitement happening in the hockey universe, the smaller Utah Hockey Club or Galaxy, I guess, and then the smaller SLC Puck, Austin Facer world within that. So much fun happening. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of SLC Puck. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out anywhere great podcasts are found. Merch at slcpuck.shop. Don't forget to scan this QR code to enter in the giveaway from Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry. And Nashcast coming up. But we'll talk to you guys before that. We'll talk to you guys on Sunday after the Kings game. We'll get back into it. We in it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.